yes.
So then I'm just like,
Yeah, now I figured out what, even if he was willing, what the main problem would be for him. He's the top dog here. He managed to survive by killing all the others, so even if he doesn't have a pack, he has a mentality of an alpha. So somebody who doesn't really submit to will of others. So you get that particular emotion that, yeah, not a servant, not an underling.
like I said, it wouldn't be a servant underling sort of thing. We'd be friends, partners. Like in the old stories of like, there's like, which I'm not sure if you would know this, but like in the fantasy stories, there's like the wizard who's the smart guy, then the fighter who like helps defend the wizard and is pretty much his lifeline. You'd be like my body for my mind. You'd be partners.
Uh, you get an emotion akin to, uh, like, I will think about it. And then, like, he's still in the shadows, and he's not really glaring, but he's still, like, looking at you, but he's not doing anything else.
While you think about it, is it okay if we go ahead and go look at that big rock?
You get basically an answer that, yeah, and you are pretty sure that he will be, like, stalking you in the shadows.
I figured as much. And I just like look at my throat, it's like, okay, let's go.
It's like, when you're like, no, seriously, what the fuck? And
Yep,
but
come
she
on.
follows.
Yeah. It's like, yep, let's go. Let's go find this giant rock.
And then as you're like going and she thinks that he's not within like hear range, like, do you have any idea how many troubles will it bring? The military will have your head on a plate for...
They probably already want my head on a plate, they just don't know it.
Wait, what?
Never mind.
No, what?
I'm not actually allowed to talk about it, so...
She like urge to massage my temples intensifying, but because of the helmet of Vaxsuit, she can't.
It's like, anyways, if he agrees to come along, then it can be their heads on the plates, perhaps literally, actually.
You are vastly overestimating the value of that thing. Warbeast, mutated warbeast or not, it's only one. The military have thousands of troops. I don't know, you didn't strike me as a military guy, but do you honestly believe that one warbeast will be able to withstand the might of entire, like, not even entire Northern Federation, but garrison alone on the planet will be able to take him out? With losses, sure, but yeah.
Well, it's all tactics. If we, like, get into a small secluded spot where they can only send a few at us at a time, then they'll have to risk, nuking the planet itself to get rid of us. Or, they could just let us go. And save all of those resources.
But yeah, that's in character. Okay.
Yeah, I just kind of look at her and wink and says, like, trust me, it'll work out.
It really... Oh, for fuck's sake. I just hope it will not come to bite me in the ass, both literally and figuratively.
I hope it doesn't either, but... You know what they say?
Let us go.
Have to gamble to get ahead in life. Spend money to make money, sort of thing.
Okay, does Jamison also does the same thing as with Military Forge, as in trying to find some piece of surviving data that might be worth some money?
Yep.
So, it would not be really a skill check, but a luck save, because you either will have a luck to find it or not. Hey! That's exactly what you needed.
Yay!
So, basically, yeah, you managed to, in the underground portions, like close by, where there's like at least like 4 or 5 levels of basement, and on the like second one, there's like secured database, mostly intact, and you manage. You managed to find secure database and just like give me a security. And we'll like no matter what you roll, you will get information, but depending on what you roll, yeah. So it has it that you're.
My rolls have been very polarized.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, 6, well, like 6 and 4, but oh, 6 and 2, or like it's not really ever like really really bad or really really good.
And
it's either
obviously, like the entire time as you're like traveling in the building, you feel that.
I totally expect that.
You feel presence, and you know that he's stalking you. And in some cases, it's surprising because you really think that he would not fit, but still the presence is there. Maybe it's his psionic ability, who knows. So basically with 11 you get, apart from like few pages and few pages redacted, so you don't get names, you know, like head researcher, director of operations, etc. You basically get full documentation of the bioweapon research program. And what the hell, I might give it to you. You also find out there's like a list of specimens, and obviously you do not know which ones survive for now, but yeah, they were like some pure animals, but they also were doing some genetic combining, so they like tried to combine DNA of tiger and gorilla. Basically they tried to compile DNAs of like predators.
Makes sense. They're trying to make weapons.
Yep. So do you get
like what,
and download that data?
Yep. Like what they fucking did with Jurassic World.
Yeah, this is something like that, but thankfully these guys didn't have access to dinosaurs' DNA.
Yes. It's like, oh, it's literally, it's like, where's it at? Oh, it's literally got the DNA of chameleon's hide. Okay. From all of our sensors, even.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Oh, yeah.
So, yep. Cool.
And
I'm sure that she actually stayed with me this time.
yeah, she's not staying alone. You know what? There's no appraise check, but if you want to get like an inkling of how much can it be worth, you can give me a business check.
Yeah, I'll probably end up having to ask someone else.
If you're not using anything, then...
Oh yeah, yes, I could use the... What are the chances I'm going to use another business check? So yeah, I'll go for a 12.
Okay, so... You are pretty sure that you definitely do not want to sell it to military. because yeah, then they will just like hunt you down.
Mm-hmm.
Because this research is like purely like it's in like category of illegal like hot heat stuff that brings heat. This is fucking like top 10 or top 5. So
Fun.
no military. You're also pretty sure that majority of criminal organizations on the planet do not have enough money to buy it. They will not give enough money for what it's worth, and knowing that this stuff is dangerous, they will probably also try to fuck you over the deal.
And sell me to the military.
And you are pretty sure that you can get very nice price, like we are talking like range of 50 to 100,000 credits. But that would need to be like a really specific person, not on the planet but in like entire sector, who will have money, need, and who will have like enough character to not try to kill you outright after you sell this to him.
You said it was like military secrets, pretty much.
Kinda like it.
Or at least stuff that the military has and doesn't want other people to know.
Yeah, it's considered military secret. Yeah, because the public didn't know about biological weapons. They only learned that they got shut down because of experiments on living subjects.
Alright. Well, I have a couple ideas that I find will be more fun if you discover them as I start pulling them out.
Okay. I'm wondering if one of the ideas is to give that data to Jeb, and Jeb will do his version of WikiLeaks, and suddenly fucking chaos. Because if this hits like extranet, so much shit would go down. But
that's another good idea.
It would bring a lot of hit on you.
Yeah.
And on Jeb too.
So, that's a possible idea if I don't get any sellers. So,
yep.
But
Forgetting our sellers, I would suggest on future level ups, I would suggest getting better culture criminal or yeah, probably criminal, because it's like highly illegal stuff.
Yeah. Or maybe I can just, well, mind you, I could also, and keep it for myself, I can do both, but, or I can make copies of it and sell it to multiple people, and give it to Jeb. So like, go around and sell it to everyone that would want it, and then like, here Jeb, release this to the general public.
You know that these guys would remember who sold it to them.
Then fly away on my very expensive ship, laughing at them all, because
yeah, true. Although
it's like oh, I sold it for like
it would be like in Mafia breaking an omerta. If you even returned to that sector or like Northern Federation, every second you will have to look behind you. Because yeah, they would never forgive you. Until you're dead, they will hunt you down.
So I'm just gonna like, hey Jeb, let's go on a vacation and probably never come back.
Yeah, because the thing that you did with Spencer might give you hit, but only from like traitorous parts of military. But if you do the thing with the research, then entire Northern Federation will be, yep, we have to kill that guy.
Or I could keep it for myself and start up a bioweapon research program.
It's a possibility. I'm wondering if Jameson would have a mindset for it though. Is that within his character?
Just possibilities. For now, he just has the data.
Okay. Yep, so you get to the very bottom. Oh, along the way, you obviously find like entire level with like reinforced highly secure cages where specimens were kept. Most of them are intact, some of them like outright destroyed, and you think that's maybe the ones who mutated, but it's pretty clear that the one whom you met is only one alive. And yeah, you kind of realize that the entire infrastructure is like, if you decide to play cat and mouse with him, it's his territory, and there are like signs that he prepared his territory, so you would be at very obvious disadvantage trying to fight him. So yeah, you find a rock, pretty big one actually, the biggest out of all three, and yeah, you stay at a distance because you like see different, basically it's like what's the word in English, like multi-colorful aura around it that swirls and twirls. So it's pretty obvious that it packs a whole variety of like different energies and whatnot. And your like obvious guess is, like the non-educated guess is, well, it probably was the catalyst for mutations.
I look at Martha and I say, how do you feel about growing a couple extra arms?
Not exactly. I'm not fond of this idea. Thankfully, she like looks at the scanners. True, there is some dark matter and whole lot of other radioactive stuff, but everything should be blocked by vac suits.
Good. And I start walking forward.
Okay.
Physical save?
Actually a mental one.
Oh.
Yeah, for a moment, as you approach, you feel that same throbbing headache that you get from when you, like, air quotes, talked with that war beast. And then, as you for a moment feel that you're gonna pass out, it like, you shake it off. But yeah, you kinda realize that, yeah, it might have given mutations in not only physical sense.
Interesting. And I look at Martha and see how she's doing.
She's not exactly approaching too closely for now. But like, she, seeing that there's nothing with you, she like, with sensors, she like takes careful steps forward. And yeah. She like shakes her head. It's pretty obvious that she also got a headache strike. And then, well, okay.
Did she get the beast side of the conversation, or was that only me?
Only you. That's why she was like moping, like, what the fuck?
So you just saw me like talking to it and it just staring at me, and me talking to it some more and it just staring at me.
I mean, she probably, when she stopped freaking out, she probably realized that it might be psionics, but then she freaked out even more because holy shit, animal having psionic abilities. And
but
yeah.
That just makes it that much better.
Yeah, and then
she
well, okay. I thought it might only be like strictly mutation rock, but actually I might just as well name it like evolution, like force evolution rock, and not only in physical sense.
Oh, hopefully we brought some lead curtains with us.
Well, even if not, these basements look pretty intact. So they.
Well, I mean for like once we get it back to the science facility.
Oh yes, definitely. And then like the presence is here. Like it was here all the time, but like you hear like very soft, actually like footsteps, way softer comparing to like how like big he is.
Mhm.
And yeah, even though he like mostly still clothed in shadows, you like get it that he has very dark skin, mostly fur, let's say. Yeah, that he has a fur.
Mhm.
And basically he has basically the closest thing that you think it's a mix of bipedal gorilla, bear, and perhaps they throw in DNA of some like completely alien species. Alien not as in like grey people, but alien like fauna or flora.
Yeah.
So his face is vaguely humanoid, but obviously like monstrous, like big, like two sets of very sharp teeth. But yeah, if he learned how to talk, you figured out that he could probably like make some facial expressions. And obviously he has he doesn't have visible nose, but he has like two pairs of yellow eyes, which the closest hit is like eyes of a tiger or other predator cat.
Eye of the tiger.
Yeah, and then like yeah, obviously he's like well built. He's not huge, like fat. He looks like pretty like muscular as fuck.
Does he float like a butterfly and sting like a bee?
He mostly just cuts people to shreds.
Works.
Yeah, but you see, obviously, like he has a pair of rather large hands. You don't see claws at first, and when he like spots that you're like checking his hands, he like flexes hand, and then basically he does Wolverine. He has retraceable claws, which are pretty long and looking very deadly.
Mm-hmm. Now, does he flex it more as a threat or more as a this is where the claws are?
More like this is where claws are.
Okay.
Let me sate your curiosity. And you know what? You can give me what would be like some whatever tech check if you can figure it out, like what kind of stuff he could cut it. He could cut using the claws because they don't look metallic. They look like more like they look like they are created from his material, but they still look very lethal, very fuck, what's the word?
So what kind of tech? But very,
Whatever,
very cutty.
What you want, whatever tech you want. Probably post tech.
Okay.
And it's wisdom based. Huh.
Wow.
Okay, so he would not be able to cut diamond, but he will have no trouble of like shredding through power armors. And like the titanium alloys, steel alloys.
Not an improvement. It's like very nice. Very terrifying.
He like through his mouth he was like he gives like a sort of huff.
Very impressive.
Yeah, and apart from that he doesn't really interject with you. But I mean at some point like
does it seem like he's more just trying to stay in the shadows or more avoiding the rock?
More like staying in the shadows. Apparently he's not really praying away from a rock. And at some point I feel like Marshall like not really screams but like looks around, looks at him, looks at you and then looks at him again. No, it's illegal. We don't like The military will have our heads if we try to create more of you. And yeah, that's then it's like she, of course, and then like she starts like doing her scanner thing again. Do you ask him what it was about?
Well, okay. And even if we tried to make more of you, given how this thing probably seems like it's random, it probably might wouldn't work out the way you would expect. We'd probably get something completely different.
Yeah, his simple emotion is like, don't. With a threat, or I will kill you. There's like emotion, and you're not sure. Maybe it's an emotion coming from the fact that he wants to be an alpha and he doesn't want anybody to be like him. Or maybe after all of this time, maybe he gained self-awareness enough to know that yes, he is a monster and there shouldn't be more of him.
I certainly wasn't planning on it. Nothing against you.
Like huffs again, but he even gives like a tilt of his head, like you think a nod.
Like, mutated animals and whatnot tend to be rather dangerous. Even you are. I'm not going to lie about that, and you know that, so